Hey, it's been a while, but I do have quite a bit of footage to edit and put together. The second week of February, my wife and I traveled to the state of California. We traveled with how many? There were 13 of us in the group. We were a group of Lead Maryland alumni, along with the alumni and their families. Uh, Lead Maryland is an ag leadership program in the state of Maryland. A lot of states around the country have this type of ag leadership program. Anyhow, um, we've been doing this now for 20 years. I was the first class to participate in this program. So we have a great alumni organization now. One of the alumni put this ag tour together out to California. So there were 13 of us total. We traveled from San Francisco down to Simi Valley over a 5-day period. We got to see a lot traveling through the Central Valley. We went to the Ag Expo. We visited Blue Diamond, Almonds, sun-made raisins, a winery. We saw a lot in the 5 days. And then from there, my wife and I traveled down to New Orleans, Louisiana, and we met up with my daughter for the True Value Hardware Show. So we were gone, my wife and I were gone about 8 days total. So I've got so much footage that what I'm going to end up doing is breaking this into probably 3 segments. So I hope you enjoy. It was a lot of footage. I've tried to make it interesting. So watch it or skip it. I don't care. But stay tuned for probably 3 segments, maybe 4 if I throw in the hardware part of it, the hardware show. I'll see. Mardi Gras, hey, we got to experience Mardi Gras as well. So here you go. Okay, do you know what that is off in the distance there? Yep, that's the Golden Gate Bridge. You know, it really doesn't look that golden to me. It's more of a copper color, but yeah, there it is. Here we are in San Francisco. It is breezy today. We were going to take a boat ride out into the bay, get a closer look at the bridge, but no, it's too rough. There's a lot of whitecaps out there, but hey, this isn't the reason we are here today. This is the reason. See that? Ghirardelli. That is my favorite chocolate. Ghirardelli. Well, that's close. Lindt chocolate as well, but Ghirardelli is made. The company was started here in San Francisco, I believe. So we are going to head over and buy me some chocolate. And over here, the cable cars. We took the cable car down from Union Square down here to what is this, Powell or Hyde Street, Powell Street? I don't remember. We did ride the cable car. It was somewhat uneventful, only because it's so crowded. We sat in the inside, so we didn't get any really good views. We didn't get to hang off the edge, but off to Ghirardelli we go. Okay, straight ahead of me is Alcatraz. It is quite breezy today. So I don't think we're getting on a boat and going over to Alcatraz. I will get sick. So I guess those dinghies, skiffs, boats, whatever you want to call them, anchored up out there because of the wind. A couple of them probably came loose and came up here on shore and kind of broke apart is what I'm guessing. I don't know. Here's the other crazy thing. It's about 60 degrees today. I'm not sure if you can see that person out there in the water swimming. But it kind of reminds me of a Seinfeld episode where Kramer was swimming in the East River of New York because it was good for the body. Now, I don't guess this is quite as dirty and polluted as the East River, but man, it's a bit chilly out, and that guy does not have a wetsuit on from what I can see. It's got to be a guy because I only see bottoms on. I don't see a top on. Although it's San Francisco, it could be a woman swimming with no top on. Who knows? But it's too cold for me to be swimming today. Well, this is the famous Pier 39 area in San Francisco. Well, I don't know how famous it is. It looks like this is the tourist area here of San Francisco on the Bay. It is Sunday afternoon. It has livened up a little bit out here since we got here a couple hours ago. Weather is a little bit warmer, but the breeze is still blowing pretty good, as you can see and probably hear. Apparently there are sea lions to be seen here. I guess we've got to go over towards the actual pier itself and walk out on the pier to see these sea lions. That's what we're going to look for anyway. Okay, here is a better picture of Alcatraz, straight ahead. And to the left is the Golden Gate Bridge. And San Francisco Bay. We are at the end of Pier 39. guess this is the equivalent of Chicago's Navy Pier. And this water does not look all that appealing, but our Chesapeake Bay looks much cleaner than this at the moment.
It's a store contract with this company. We have a yard up here that just has 40 buses for Apple, and we have a yard for Google, and we have a yard for Facebook. So we're contracted, they contracted us to do that for them. And so I was sent up here because they were short on drivers.
One time, when in the mid-1980s, I believe, when none other than Queen Elizabeth visited here, and she did the Golden Gate, and that is Mount Tamalpais. And we actually are seeing the angle for which it received its Native American Miwok name. It means sleeping lady. So you see to the right, her hair is splayed out to the east, and you can see the profile of her face, her chest, her abdomen, and her long legs reach to the west to touch the coast.
This is the right way, and you'll probably hear me, and I'm terrible at this. We're actually all terrible about this. I may say almond and almond in two sentences right next to each other because technically they're both correct. There's actually a really neat NPR radio survey based on a study that UC Davis did on sociology of do you say almond or almond? And the origins of it are that those of us that have been in California in the almond business, and I grew up in Northern California outside of winter, so I call them almonds.
Thank you.
Right? I'll call them, they're not newer farmers, but newer to almond farmers, say south of Fresno, call them almonds. And the difference is, almond is the Spanish pronunciation, okay?
And French.
The French is more almond, so that's almond.
Almond and
yeah, so the Spanish pronunciation is almond.
Yeah.
And then the French pronunciation, which is the more worldwide, newer pronunciation, is almond.
we do the same thing in Maryland.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're Old Line, you say Cecil County. If you're not, you say Cecil, and the fights start.
Yeah.
Yep. And what we do here at Blue Diamond, I'll talk a little bit about if I have time. But we are almonds. Almonds are the largest California agricultural export. We trade paint with dairy and milk. Some years they're bigger, and then also some years if the grape industry is in line, they will have a higher. But lately it's been almonds. We are a 3,000 member co-op. We're about 110 years old. We'll be 110 years in June. And we have the majority of almond growers, or roughly the majority of almond growers in California that we represent. We represent mostly family farmers with an average acreage of about 75. The industry is about an average of about 171, so our growers tend to skew smaller. That's an old slide, 109 years. We have about 1,800 employees. We have 3 different facilities. This one you're at here at the Salida facility is the primary receiving facility. Sacramento is our headquarters, and also where the oldest facility that we have is where also all of the flavored product comes from. And then we have Turlock is our brand new state-of-the-art facility where a lot of our, we call it global ingredients, where our sliced and diced and slivered product gets made and comes from.
Okay, cozy up. Step towards the center. There you go. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And now, let me get rid of the table, and I've got everybody, plus I've got pictures of the almonds in the background, and I'm not changing how I'm pronouncing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really.
All right, not sure if you can hear me, but we just finished here at the gift shop of the Blue Diamond Almond. It's not almond, it is almond facility here. Behind me is a processing facility. Unfortunately, we could not go into the processing facility. We did not get into the fields to see anything. We just had a presentation by a company person here, but quite interesting. Nice goodie bag here as well. We are off to a winery now, so stay tuned.
No time there. You have opportunity to wash your hands, be comfortable. Yeah, go around to the right, and we're going to park right behind the tasting room. Thanks.
But you'll just see, if you'll notice right now, how closely planted the olive trees are that we just looked back. If you kind of look back, you can see they're pretty densely packed. This land is getting ready to plant. I'm not sure, I should know, but I'm not sure exactly what's going in there this year. And you'll see some more orchards coming up on the left. You'll see some pasture land for livestock on the left. But you'll also see a brand new planting if you look farther to the right, still ahead of us a little bit, where we just planted 35 acres of new almond trees, because that will be, in a few years, will be a good cash crop for us. So we have a dairy on the right. If we were back on the row where I started talking, we have a dairy, a beef unit, a quarter horse unit, a sheep unit, a swine unit. And so some of the pastures there are for the horses and the beef cattle. Again, now we're looking at almonds again. There's some pistachios a little farther in that you may not see very well. And then we have the grapes on the left now. So we have a lot of different varieties of both all three, of table grapes, raisin grapes, and wine grapes. And we do on our campus, we'll show you as we turn back into the campus, we do have a winery where we have a blended winery. If you look farther to the right now, I'm sorry this is all kind of mixed up, but this is just what we're going by. There's some pistachios there past the pivot. And then where the trees start, that's the end of the university property, as is
the variability is tremendous. We are the most variable in terms of precipitation of any place in the country. There you are, Maryland. It rains pretty much 12 months out of the year, right? Well, we have years where we don't get very much rain at all, and we have other years that are extremely wet. So this doesn't go all the way through the last drought we have, but between 2012 and 2016, we had a 5-year drought that was one of the worst we've had since we've been keeping records, and it resulted in a whole bunch of policy change here in California, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And that's what most of California is, an irrigation district or a city. They all kind of developed on their own, right? So we have a whole bunch of stuff. So here's groundwater, a big chunk of our water supply. There's the Colorado, federal projects and state projects. So we have a diversified portfolio. We just don't have enough anymore because of the conflicts amongst the different possible uses. And that's where we're going. Agriculture does use a lot of California's water. In the news, you'll see a lot of times, agriculture uses 80% of the water in California. Well, that's true in a sense. It uses 80% of the developed water. And when we say developed water, that's the water we can capture and divert. There's a lot of times when the rivers are flowing real heavy and they flow right on out, so the environment gets that water. In fact, quite often. In fact, actually the environment, I think, is the largest piece of water still in California, mostly because of this variability. I don't know, have you ever heard of the story about Pedro Fages, one of the first Portuguese sailors that came by the Golden Gate? he actually dipped his bucket in the water 10 miles off the coast and got fresh water. That's how far the water would move all the way out the Golden Gate. So we really built a big agricultural system here. It's used. 1/3 of the fruits and vegetables in the whole country are grown here in the San Joaquin Valley. So we've got a lot to offer, but at a price.